Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations, where we flow freely, speak boldly, and connect colorfully. I am Tikisha, and this is
Tikisha,
and
and
welcome
welcome
to
to
our
our
girl
girl
chat.
chat.
You got it today, girl. You remember? Look, we wasn't here last week. I know y'all missed us, but sometimes it be like that. Schedules change. But last week we were going to be talking about and celebrating my friend's 50th birthday. That was the day before we recorded.
It was last
It was
Wednesday.
like so. She's been 50 for an entire week and one day now. And how do you feel?
I feel the same because I feel like I've been 50 for a long time.
You
I've
have
been 50 for at least 8 years.
you have been saying you're 50 for a long time. Yes, yes. And every time you say that, I know I laugh like, girl, stop saying you're 50 because I believe you were 30 saying I'm 50.
Yeah. I know I've been saying it because I have one friend that I met 8 years ago. And she was like, "You've been saying that since I met you."
Really?
Because she was like, "If you 50, then that mean I'm 60." And I was like, "You ain't got to do your age if you don't want to." Like, that's me.
What is the what was behind you saying I'm 50 for so long, for so early? What made you say that?
Because of my wisdom.
So you associate
The
older age with
age.
wisdom?
At least it should be. It should be if you've been on here Earth X amount of years. You should be wise.
It should be, but
It should be.
It should. You're definitely right, but I don't
I
know if
know
I
that's not.
associate. Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know
know
if
if
I
that's
associate with age.
always the case, but I definitely feel like if you're not learning as time is passing by, you doing something wrong.
Yeah, because a lot of people 40s and up and 50s and up that I know I don't deem as wise. But
Oh, I know that too. And
yeah.
that's why I was saying that I was 50 back then. Because I know people, and we always do this in my family. And I think I might have talked about this before when it'd be like, well, how old do you really think you are? Because your age is not based on the year that you were born.
Yeah.
Like, we would be like maturity level wise. Like, where do you really think you are? And that's where I thought I was.
So now what will you say you are?
I don't even want to. I said that I was going to start going backwards because I'm like, I don't want to start saying I'm 80 and then my body adapt to being 80. Right. Because I just think I'm getting wiser and wiser every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Did you enjoy your birthday?
It was cool. I mean, my birthday in itself was like, I went to the store. I visited with my dad. That's always, a good time. Even when we sit in silence, it's just the fact that I still
spending that time
have him on earth with me. And, I ate a leftover burger. So it wasn't nothing.
I'm cracking up at you in that leftover burger.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Well,
like, hello, people, turning 50 today.
Well, you know what?
But everybody kept asking me what I was doing. And my thing is, I have always organized something for my birthday up until 2023. It was always like, if it's going to the club or whatever I'm doing. But I'm like, birthdays I don't want a celebration of life when it's my memorial service. Let's celebrate me now.
Yes.
And when you do a celebration of life, that person is deceased. You making all the plans and doing everything,
and they don't even they can't even enjoy it. Yeah.
So I was just like, no, I'm not doing anything. Because it was just like, it's my birthday. I'm gonna be happy and okay no matter what, because it's not about the gifts or anything, because I literally have everything I need, and want. But it was more so like, if you love me and you want to celebrate me, then ask me out and we can do something. But I'm not about to be like, I'm planning this. Yeah. So originally, I did go to breakfast with my friend, the one who I've been saying that. But originally I was just like, I had wanted to do a party. But then when I was like, okay, so I'm looking at several thousands of dollars. Do I want to pay thousands for people to come and party with me and then me go home and think about I just spent my money to let other people celebrate me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't really know if I want to do that.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it.
So I was just like, and then, thinking about the guest list, like I won't lie, I made a list and I'm like, I had 100 women
on the list.
On the list.
You did make a list?
I did make a list because I was just like, I was wondering if it was going to be worth me doing it because I know I have slim to none male friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this is going to be a whole girls' night out. Let me see how many. Yeah.
100 women?
Yes. I was like, I talked to more people than I actually realized.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Like, if you had 100 women, and we always talk about your circle being small, but 100 women?
Yeah, this birthday really made me realize that I'm going to stop saying my circle is small.
Because it ain't really
because
small.
It's not small. I feel like when I say it's small, I think I maybe think about the people because I have certain people in my life that I talk to every single day, and then like, you and I, we meet every week, but I definitely have people that I consider my friend. If I was to call right now, we would catch up. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, you got a vast amount.
And you just realizing that at 50.
Yeah.
Because to write down 100 names, not just names, women, that's a big deal. Because it's to be said that a lot of times they think women don't get along and, whatever. But to write down, I'm sure I have 100 or close to that number too, but I've never written it down. But I'm making a big deal though, because you literally always believe that your circle is small, and that's like a blessing to me that you were able to write down 100 women that you would want to spend your 50th birthday with. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that we could have invited more people. You didn't tell me about that list.
I mean, you didn't ask. You were so secretive. It was never, what would you like? What are you interested in? It was just wear color. And I'm like, I wear black.
Well, this is the thing. This is what I know to be true because I planned something for you before, and it was one mistake I made in that planning. Not, and me and you talk and kind of laugh about it now, but I didn't want to do that again. You know what I'm saying? So that and that was important to me not to do that because I know how we feel about the wrong energy being in the room with us. So I was like, I want to, make sure I know it's people that she know love her and that she want to spend time with or whatever. But I was really kind of adamant about that. Like, you know what? I don't ever want that to happen again because you ain't gonna try to come up in here and act like you is the star of my friend's show. Like, who are you? Like, you can go on with the wind out the door. So I just kind of, and so that's kind of like, I guess my fault because you said you don't like surprises, but I kind of, it was one surprise that I really wanted, and your friend from out of town to be there, and I was like, I just didn't want to tell you nothing.
Yes, I absolutely hate surprises because I like to know. Like, I struggle watching a movie for the first time.
Really?
Yes. Even though I know it's a movie and it's not real life, like I get anxious on what's about to happen. So most of the time before I watch a movie, I'll Wikipedia or ask somebody if they've seen it before.
So because you don't care about knowing what the ending is.
Because I'll still watch it, but I'll know, like, I can regulate my nervous system a lot better.
And you know what? I don't think I really knew that you did not like surprises until the day before when you was like, you got to tell me something. And I was like, what? because some people really like to be surprised. And I looked at your face when you was on face. I was like, oh, she really don't like surprises. I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just tell you this one thing. But yeah, I didn't know that you did not like surprise. Some people say, I don't like surprises. How deep does that go? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because that's different for everybody. For you to say you don't even like to watch movies for the first time because you want to know what's going to happen, that's deep.
Yeah, it runs real deep for me. I don't know, because I promise you, I get all of these emotions and unregulated that I'm like, I need to know so I can just stay at a calm level. That's why that day I was just like,
I was like, let me just tell y'all. I picked my friend up and I'm just cool, calm, and whatever, which is most time I'm like that anyway. But I was extremely calm, and she was so jittery. She got out the car 2 or 3 times to go
yes,
back in the
I'm like, I
house.
don't even have earrings
I was
on.
like,
Like,
I said, girl, just calm. She could not calm. I don't even know if you ever calmed down until, because I had her blindfolded, which probably made it worse too. I
yes,
made
because
her
I'm
ride in
like,
the
am
car.
I getting kidnapped? What kind of pavement am I walking on? Then I'm thinking about, is it messing up my shoes, which it did. So all of these thoughts are going
To
through
your
my
head.
head. Where if I would have known, I would have been able to been calm and plan accordingly.
I won't surprise you no more. Now that I got the surprise out the way in your lifetime with me, we ain't got to do that no more. Because when
And I mean, like last time with the dinner,
I
that
was
was
gonna say that
nice.
was
It
a
was
kind
a
of surprise
surprise
too.
with who
Yeah,
was going, be there or whatever. But this one was just like, I
you know
know.
what that dinner though. I think I'm a person that just like to surprise people.
Yes, because
I
that
am
was a
that person.
surprise, but it
Yeah,
was more like I kind of knew, like, okay, we probably,
yeah.
like I had literally absolutely zero idea about
Because I think I
this.
told you last time where we were going, like the day before. You was like, "Oh, I ain't never been there," and it was like I don't know if I told you who was going to be there, but
No, no.
no, I didn't tell you
Mm-mm.
because had I told you, then it wouldn't have never.
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, I didn't
mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, so this time with me not knowing anything, and I'm turning 50, not knowing nothing, like, oh my.
Yeah, I love to. I don't know why I like to surprise people. But I have to. I will have to understand that when a person does not like to be surprised, that I'm not going to get, because if there is a reaction for me or it's a reaction for them to be happy, you know what I'm saying? I always, in my mind, because I like surprises, think that their reaction is
It's
going
going to
to be
be
like
the
mine.
same, where it's
And
just like, oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And while I know that you enjoyed yourself, you were happy, I don't want you to not be relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just enjoy what's about that. You never got like
Mm-mm,
that. And
mm-mm.
I think I have to understand. And y'all, if y'all like to surprise people and people who say they don't like surprises, take them at their word, because some of them can't relax. And my reaction, I'm thinking is her reaction would be like mine. Not saying she didn't enjoy herself, because she did. I got video. But yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm thinking everybody would like a surprise, and it'll be like my reaction would be. And no, I don't want people to be uncomfortable. So if somebody says that they do not like surprises, and people have told me that before, particularly this one guy I was dating did not like surprises. And I don't know what made us talk about that. I don't know if it was his birthday, because sometimes I block these men out of my mind. But I remember him telling me that he didn't like surprises, and he was like adamant about it too. Like, no, I don't like that. Like he want to know, and I was like, really? Like I thought it was just the worst thing. Like, why would you? Why can't I just
Mm-hmm.
respect people, because everybody's different. We talk
Mm-hmm.
about that all the time on here. Everybody's different. So, but I'm glad you were happy and you enjoyed these
I
first 7 days.
did. And it really made me think about, because I always wonder, like, how we be talking about, like, oh, she acting fake. But I'm like, are people acting fake, or do they just get a different side of you? So I was thinking about this that day, because I'm like, there's certain things that, like when I was talking about the 80s thing, you know what I'm saying? Like that was something that I hadn't shared
with me.
with you,
Yeah.
because the person I shared it with, we talk about music and stuff.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was just like that. And then
Yeah.
the other person was, she had did a birthday, and I had called her to find out how much the place was. And that's when I was just like, okay, let me go through this and see if what I want to do.
And
And
I don't
then,
think you and I had talked about anything.
no, and then I was like, you know what? No, just scratch that. And then I was just like, I actually inquired about doing a bowling party. And then I was just like, I don't want to organize and spend money to celebrate me. So if my friends want whatever they want to do, if it's individually or whatever, but it did make me realize, like, at the core, I am who I am, but I feel like with different friends, they may get a different side of me, even though I'm really
the same person.
person.
And I will tell you this, and I told you this before, and I know some of the friends watch this. I told her this. I was like, you got a great group of friends, myself included. No, but I'm just but no, because when it came to doing something for you, whether we all knew really exactly what you wanted to do or not, literally everybody just wanted to like do something to make you happy and enjoy yourself. It literally was like no argument. You know how sometimes women can come together and it's like, you know, she saying this and I don't want you. It was never that. It literally was like, well, I'll do this. Well, if she want to do this, whatever idea you had given people, they listened and they just kind of, I guess, took from that, like, well, let's do part of this because she's discussed this with, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. But everybody literally had a great attitude and character when it came to celebrate you. And that says a lot to me about you and the people you choose to be around. That nobody was catty, nobody was like, I think that's dumb, I think that's stupid, or I don't want to do that, or that ain't gonna work out for me. Everybody literally was trying to come together to, be like, let's do whatever we can to celebrate, our friends. So I just want you to know, like, I love your group of friends. They're not like my friends, but I've been around each and every one of them individually with you. And I think you really do a great job at choosing who to keep close to you. I think you do a great job at that. I don't think that I've always done a great job with that. And I'm sure probably at some point in your life, you probably felt like that too, but you were quicker maybe to get away from people. I held on a little longer when I shouldn't have. But you do a great job at keeping people, because even the atmosphere in the room, even though we all don't hang out or we're not like all friends, nobody wouldn't have known that.
Right.
Nobody would have known that we all, only talk to you.
Exactly, because my one friend was just like, I didn't know that everybody didn't know each other. She was just like, I didn't know you didn't intermingle with your friends. I was just like, no.
Yeah.
I've had situations where one person may know the other one and they may come as my plus one to an event.
Yeah.
But just like, hey girl, me, you, not for real.
Yeah. And you would have never known that. Like,
at most of the times I've done that as a concert, and I feel like a concert gives you a different kind of environment.
Yeah.
Because we all in it for that, not intimate one-on-one or going to dinner or anything like that.
Yeah. It really was. It was really a beautiful night to me, because I that was one of the things that because when I go places now, I always want it to be like a learning experience as well as a great environment. And I was like, wow, this is a lesson for when you choose people to be in your life, to be your friend, somebody you call your friend, even if they've never met somebody who else you consider a friend, y'all should be able to come together
and respect
one another, and then not feel like, I don't like you. I like you, but I don't like her. It was never that. It was never that. So that says a lot about you and how you choose friends, and it says a lot about those women. So hey, y'all,
They
you
love
know,
me.
yeah, they do. And I do. I can't say that I don't have that. I do have um a group of women that I know love me and everything, but I don't know if I have. Well, you know what? Yeah, because you hadn't met some people before, and it was kind of like that. So I guess I kind of got the same thing, but looking at it from the outside, being a part of it, like that, it made me really, really pay attention. So yeah, I think that's amazing to me. So that's one thing about wisdom: choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Choose very wisely when you choosing people who you call so-called friends. So yeah. hmm What else?
Nothing.
You say nothing. You know what? I heard something the other day. This is switching the subject because I wanted to get your opinion on it. You know how we always talk about good mothers or
Mm-hmm.
people are a good mother. I watched this video the other day, and this lady said she was a high effort mother.
What does that mean?
Girl, when
It's
she's
I feel like I've heard this.
maybe I don't know if you saw the video or not, but I started reading the comments because I wanted to know, and I was like, "Oh, am I a high effort mother or a good mother?" Like she does things for her children. I think she only had a daughter. I think that most people probably wouldn't do go above and beyond to make her daughter um have and her daughter was like a 12 years old or 13 or something like that, have a easier relaxed life and not be stressed out like a lot of kids. So for example, like if your child forget your lunch and get their lunch and you take it back to school, that's not high effort. But um she was like taking her daughter lunch like a couple times a week, and then the teacher asked her not to because other kids felt bad about it. So she started taking lunch 3 times a week for the whole class. She was like, "Well, I'm not going to not let my child feel not get what I want her to have, you know, because y'all saying everybody else. So I'm just going to make everybody." And I was like, "Yeah, that's huge." So that was just one of the things that stuck out to me. Like, wow. And then I thought about how one day, one of my kids was having a rough day and had a test at school, but didn't want to stay at school the whole day. So I took them to school and just sat down there until they was done. And I'm like, I might be a high effort mother. I might be that person that do the things that a lot of people probably wouldn't do. Like even distance is not an issue for me. Like I know some people who won't take their kids to a certain school because they're like, that's too far from my house. They gonna,
Mm-hmm.
go, and I don't feel like that. I'm like, no, you're gonna go where I feel like it's best for you and where you most comfortable and where you gonna be nurture this gift and everything. So I don't know. Were you a high effort mother?
I don't know if I was high effort because I'm not feeding the whole class.
She fed the whole class.
Like I'm definitely not
Yeah.
doing that. I mean, maybe if my money looked a little different, but I still don't think I would do that. I think I'd be like, you know what? I don't know. They some haters.
Yeah.
That's what I would have been like. They some
Right,
haters.
right.
So 3 days a week we gonna go whatever restaurant you want to go to. That's how we gonna switch that up.
When I read that, I was like, she did what? Was like, I'm not gonna let mine lack because y'all saying that everybody else can. I'm just gonna feed everybody. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
But I definitely, so I don't know if I'm would fall under high effort, but I definitely did what I could to accommodate him.
Yeah.
I didn't go above and beyond.
You don't think so?
Nah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't go above and beyond. I did what I thought a mother, you know what I'm saying, should do.
I
But
don't know. I think other people who know you will probably disagree and probably in some areas say you went above and beyond.
yeah, I don't think so. And I guess I don't think so because it's like, to me, it's certain things when you decide to become a parent, this is what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we become parents from the feeling of lust.
Woo,
and we don't be
child.
signed up for anything and
Yeah.
figure it out and frustrated and all of that. I never wanted my son to have those emotions growing up, because it was just like I ain't asked to be here, you ain't asked to be here either. So I feel like I accommodated, but I don't know if I did anything extra, because like, to me, driving to a certain school, because I drove, we would get up an hour, drive to school, I would drive an hour back to work, and then another one to go to my dad's, and then back. So I was driving all day, but it's just like, this is the school that I want you to go to, that I feel like you will excel at. And looking back, like, I bought this house, because I wanted him to grow up in a neighborhood and have all of that. But I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have compromised private school for a mortgage.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yep. But I definitely feel like I did what I thought was good for him, but not necessarily extra. I just like, yeah, what a mama do? You got a game, I'm gonna be there. You ain't feeling good, you don't want to go to school today, don't go.
I hear at what age, because I hear mothers in conversations now with me, we talk, and they be a little upset that their child seems ungrateful. To me, at what age do you think it should switch over to your child should understand, like, the things that you have done for them, that they should be grateful for it? You know what I'm saying? Like we say, they didn't ask to be here, but as they get older, at some point, you might feel a certain way that they are not appreciative. They don't seem appreciative to whatever you are doing or have done.
I personally, and this might be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that, but I believe that at an early age. Like, I'm talking probably before you went to kindergarten.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, once you start learning the dynamics of what is going on, you should have an attitude of gratefulness.
Is that something that's taught, though? Or is that something that,
I think it's something that's taught. And I think that that's where the gap may come. I don't know what word I want to use, because I believe it's something that's taught, and I don't think everyone does that. And then when you're doing these things and the kid don't act grateful, you're mad, but it's just like, you set them up where they ask for this and they just get it. So they're in a space of expectancy, and we turn it into entitlement.
So a lot of times we're not teaching them how to be grateful or what gratefulness is.
Right. So like, for me growing up, I will never forget this one year. I remember my parents bought me so much stuff, and I told them, you bought me too much stuff.
Did you? Was this elementary?
Like, this was too much.
You have been wise a long time. Because what kid says that? You bought me too much. Really? And what they say? Do you remember what they?
I just remember my mama looking at me like I had 13 heads. Like, because my mom loved Christmas, and I mean, she worked in a department store, so that was her time to get the latest and greatest everything.
And you said you bought me too much.
I was just like, this is too much.
Did they teach you gratefulness?
I don't know if that's where it came from or what it was, but I felt like that at a young age. And even not necessarily being aware, but I think because where we lived at, I would see homeless people. So I didn't recognize the status of middle class, upper class, and all of that, but I knew, because remember, I thought I was rich.
Yeah.
So I knew I had a good life, and that was a blessing for me.
Well,
and some kids grow up, and this is just what you get, and they have that entitlement attitude, like this is what they expect, because I don't think that we've instilled into them gratefulness. So when Jordan would get in trouble, or I remember this one particular time. I don't know. I think the book is called The Boy Named It or something. I remember, and they had like the boy living in the garage. It was a true story. It was like some crazy stuff going on. I remember giving him that book to read because I wanted him to understand this cushiony life that you live, it's a blessing. Like, I'm overcompensating and doing everything you want, like as far as material things and all of that, but it's still a blessing and you need to treat it as such. But I definitely feel like we don't necessarily
teach
teach
them how to be grateful.
Yep.
And that's where the mistake comes in then, because as they get older and hit 16, 17, 18, 19, and that entitlement pretty much have taken over, and then you're mad because it's like, I do all of this for them, and that, I put this roof over their head and all this. That's just been normal to them from the beginning.
So they don't know anything different.
Yeah,
so it's like, why are you mad now when this is all you've been doing? Is it because of the age? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it's because of the age, but as a child, you're not realizing that.
And school doesn't teach gratefulness.
No.
So a lot of things that
most of the skills that we need on earth
should be taught
you don't learn at school.
Yeah. To me, if anything, the things you learn at school is survival. That's where you learn survival, because it's a war in there. But at home is where they should be learning, and that's and I can say that I'm trying to think now, if I taught my kids, gratefulness, I know that they know I do things like and maybe I started it later in life, like giving to the needy and things like that. And I think that they probably have more of a bigger heart towards doing for others than being, and not giving towards me, but being grateful is what, I guess that's what my thing is, because they haven't known anything different.
Yes, because when you're a parent, you're parenting. And the kid is not, I don't want to use the word worship, but I don't know what other word. They're not going to praise and be like, all the time. Like that happens on certain times. Like, oh my God, you're the best mom in the world when you get a certain gift, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it's like what they're going through is just a normal part of their life. And like, I know my son, will fall under that entitlement. Like, my mama got it, but his mama didn't always had it. So why is he going to think any different now just because he's 30? I'm 50. And Banks got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I can't look at him some kind of way, because as soon as something, I'm like, Daddy.
Yeah.
Where I feel like it's levels to it. I'm not necessarily a brat, and I know how to take care and do things on my own, but I still will not hesitate to pick up that phone. I'm coming over to get my birthday gift. Yep, I'm on the way. You know what I'm saying? And that may not be normal for other people.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
But for me, that's my normal.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't feel a certain way when Jordan behaves certain ways, because I know the role that I've played that has caused him to behave like that.
So you take accountability.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we as parents don't do. We don't take accountability for whatever our role is, and however they are, their character, or whatever they're, where we didn't teach them, because that's our responsibility. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because there's so many kids that's entitled. This generation now is very, very, very entitled. I go to, basketball games from high schools and different events, and my kids have been involved with so much, and I'm just around kids a lot, and I just be like, this is so frustrating to me. I used to be, I don't know if the word was scared to be disrespectful around adults or anything like that, but I would be terrified to behave the way a lot of children do.
It's a manners thing.
Yeah, they don't have no manners.
Yeah, they don't have manners now.
I could be sitting behind a group of boys at a basketball game and their language and the way they talking and whatever is just like I'm not even sitting there. And I'm like, is it the parents' fault?
Because I remember, and Jordan graduated several years ago, but I remember this particular football game, and the N word was being thrown around
Like,
like
yeah.
the word the, and I mean from different races.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
I remember like, my temperature rising, and my dad was just like, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Really?
So I was just like, let me just focus on my running back out there.
They didn't even care that y'all was sitting there.
No. Whereas, like you said, in our generation, we wasn't doing that. We were very respectable and had manners. I think that that's the thing. Not necessarily, no, entitlement exists, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's no respect now for elders
That
at
part.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. But is that the parents' fault? Because did our parents tell us you better not do this when you went to places?
Yeah.
And then the teachers was allowed to discipline
Yes.
the kids. So it was different now.
Yes, because now everything has shifted. So now everything is, you can't do this, or don't talk to my kids like that. Like where the school where I went to, you could get paddled.
Yeah,
so it was just like, you can't do none of that. And not necessarily that I want somebody to whoop my kid, but it's just, no, the discipline is not the same. And I believe that it's because we were disciplined so like, don't do this, sit here, be like this, like turned into like a robot and transformed into a whole different person in public, that we raised our children differently, but maybe kind of missed it somewhere along, thinking that we were doing certain things different, but there's still other things that we needed to instill in our kids.
And I think that's it. I think that's it, because I think about my parents were not super strict, but they had rules that, like I told you, we couldn't. I think I told you we couldn't listen to like R&B music and all of that and everything. Now my kids like blasted or whatever, and I don't have no issue like with that. That's not. I don't have an issue with that, but I don't see where mine just be like disrespecting adults. I'm sure they probably done did some stuff not around me at some point, but I know our generation, our parents were hard on us, so maybe it's we didn't want our kids to feel that hardness, so we relaxed up on them to the point where too much, where they shouldn't have been relaxed, and now they have this disrespectful, entitlement, ungrateful attitude.
Because the unfortunate thing that I believe that people miss is train up a child. You have to teach them. And I think that that's why I've been like, not now, but would be so hard on myself, because I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I would have done this. Now it's just like, I did what I knew at that time. Pregnant at 18, this is just what it is. But I definitely believe that we expect certain things, where it's just like, if you didn't teach them, they won't necessarily know. And a lot of times you just think because you knew or you learned, just like the surprises, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like that, I don't like that. All kids, everybody individually is just different. And I don't think a lot of times we tune into what, especially when you have multiples. I only had one. So I can't imagine people with like 3 or more kids having to tune into to make sure this, that, and the other. I watched a TikTok today, and the young lady said that she used it with like language with the universe. She said that she feels like her oldest daughter taught her how the universe gives versus her youngest daughter, because she asked them what they wanted for breakfast. The oldest daughter said everything she wanted. The youngest daughter said no eggs. So the mother knew everything that the youngest did not want, but she had a hard time figuring out what she wanted, because she's always saying what she doesn't want.
Yeah.
So she said that one day, she decided to like spend some time one-on-one with her, and as they were eating some strawberry ice cream, the girl said, "This was my favorite." And the mom was like, "Wow," because she was always buying vanilla. So she's just like, now I'm going to buy that. But a lot of times we don't really tune into the kids.
Yeah.
And it's the hustle and bustle of
the day.
life.
Yeah. That's why I actually had to learn that. Because when you have multiples, like I got a boy and a girl, and you be raising them the same way, but as they get older, I realized, and I probably really realized this when they got to high school, how I could not really raise them the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're they're not the same at all. They're complete opposite. Like you've been around them, they're complete opposite. So how I love them both with all my heart, but they're completely different. And while one has a more entitled character, the other one is always thank you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that comes from me teaching that, or if it's just this is just your character to say thank you, because I realize everything you're doing, thank you. So I don't know if it's harder with one or two, but I know having two and having to raise them and teach the same thing but in a different way. That's hard. That's hard to me. I mean, you trying to get the same message across to your children, and they comprehend it differently. They comprehend it a different way. And in your house, this is just your rules. And like I know when we were younger, I was always called the rebellious one because I always had questions. I want to know why. Why we gotta do this? Why? Which is probably why I'm rebellious now. Well, no, I'm not rebellious now. I just don't follow like the rule of what other people feel. Yeah, social norms of what they feel like I should be doing. I did that, but just like me and my sister are completely different. We was just raised in the same house. We're completely different. We're complete opposites. The way we raise our kids are completely different. So I understand, that I have to be that way with my kids because they're not the same. So now trying to teach gratefulness and everything, and you pretty much got adults now. Like you trying to go backwards. Now it's going to really be life to have to teach them gratefulness, which is a harder lesson. It's a harder lesson. So, I am implore, is that the word? People who's watching this, and I don't know what the word is, but I know what I'm trying to say, but it's coming out wrong. I advise you to, even as a young adult, though, when you have, because it's hard to raise the young adults, even as young adults, you still got to give them lessons. I don't care. Keep talking.
As a parent of someone that will be 31 years old this year, I think the hardest thing is being a parent of an adult.
Yeah, that's harder than
because they're an adult, so you have to let them make their choices and live their life no matter what you may think. And that is extremely hard.
Yeah, that's hard. I thought when they become adults that it would be easier, and I guess I thought based on they grow up and they get jobs or career and they start taking care of themselves, but no, that them making their own decisions, and it's really nothing you can do about the decisions they make. It's hard, especially if you see them making a decision that you definitely
automatically know.
Yeah, you like, I know how that's gonna turn out, but you got to let it just happen. That's hard. That's hard. When they little, you can no, don't do that, and they got to listen. But now it's hard. So I just be praying for strength because all of my friends, my closer friends now are turning to their 50s and or 40s and stuff, and their kids are becoming young adults. So we all kind of going through it at the same time, like, ooh, that these children are growing up, and it's hard to, your son been kind of a young adult for a while.
Yeah, he been growing a
he
long
grown,
time.
he grown. So I think that I would hear you talk about it because he been grown when my kids were still little, but now I can remember like, oh, even when he got ready to go away to school, I remember that like like it was yesterday, and how hard it was, and now I'm going through that, and it's like it is hard because at this time nobody can relate to you. Like you, this is white girl. This is just normal. No, it's not. It's hard. It's very
Mm-mm.
hard.
I
So
think that was one of my biggest struggles.
mm.
And it's not like I necessarily want you in my shoes, but I don't know, in my head I think this is a neurotypical thing, but I know because it's just like when you can't relate, you just brush it off like it's no big
You
deal.
do.
When it's just like, please don't do that. Even if you can't relate, kind of pause, have some empathy, use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just allow me to feel what I feel and don't disregard it, because I was just like, when Jordan went away to college, I remember telling someone who I no longer talk to that I was grieving him. And she just went off. But I'm like, grief.
She went off like what? Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be feeling
That I
that way.
shouldn't be feeling that way.
Mm.
But I'm like, grief is not only tied to the death of someone.
That part, yeah.
That's a misconception.
Yeah, yeah. So like when people, that's what people need to understand. When people say I'm grieving, it's not always death. You could be grieving your kids getting older and getting out the house. Like that's hard.
A job, a breakup.
A job, a
yes,
breakup.
Like it's an emotion.
Losing a pet.
Yes.
Just, it's so many.
It's not like, oh, okay, well, get over it. Like that's supposed to happen. Like, no. And I still remember that to this day. I remember distinctively because I was standing outside in my driveway by the fence. Like, I remember it clear.
Did you cuss her out?
Nope.
You just stopped talking? That was your last time talking to her?
Nope. It took a while for me to realize that this was not the friendship that I needed. Because what I've learned now is I am a good friend. And this is something that I can say confidently. I have my flaws and I struggle when I should say something and when I shouldn't, because I don't want to hurt my friend's feelings or come off the wrong way. But overall, I feel like I try to be a good friend. But I don't think that some of my friends have been my friend. I think that I've just been theirs and they've been reaping the benefits of being my friend and not getting it back. Because what I realized, and this was something else that I would see how we change subject so quick. We coming on a close too,
and we got a whole new subject going.
But this is what I realized when I was thinking about, like, am I fake or how am I? And it was just like, no, you just have different friends have different interests, so they get different sides. But it made me realize too, and I'm losing my train of thought.
No, you were talking about you were a good friend and some of your friends were not good, and they benefit off of your good friendship.
Yes, where I was just like, how I remember, why did I get married? And her example was, go back to your 20, the 80-20 relationship. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I don't want to put weight on it. I just wanted to feel balance. Mm-hmm. Because there will be times where you will be 80 and I will be 20.
And vice versa.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Or 50-50. But as long as it's balanced, and I think in some of my relationships, I was the 90-10. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like, what am I getting when I would do this for you? And I mean, even, and I say relationships across the board with like family and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, I am not treating my romantic relationships different than I would my platonic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I expect from my friends to give and receive, I want that across the board with anybody that knows me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not getting that across the board, then it's time for me to
To
remove
release it,
myself.
yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a lesson right there. That is, because that's
Because it just needs to be balanced. I have friends
yeah.
right now, down and out, where it's just like, girl, I got you. What you need, I'm up.
I mean, that was last week. We didn't record because I was having a moment, and I text her, and you was already thinking like, yeah, I was thinking we probably shouldn't, and it was like, yeah, just an understanding of, you feeling great today, and I'm feeling kind of down. Next week, it may be vice versa, but it's a balance there where we understand each other. It's like, hey, I got your back. You know, type of friendship you have with each and every one of your friends, and that's where it. And I agree. Like if I'm in a romantic relationship, I sent you something today. You don't watch the show, but part of it, me saying that. Remember, I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
It was they were friends for 8 years. Like they watched each other go through other things, and just he had the desire to be with her, but he didn't want to move too fast, so he took his time and just let the friendship develop. And like when they finally got a relationship, it seemed like they were just good they were enjoy opposite things, but they're compromised. He enjoyed the opera, she enjoyed Rolling Stones or whatever, and he was like, okay, we did my thing last week, let's do your thing this. It was like the balance was there, and it wasn't a thing of, hey, I don't want to do what or you are more than I do more than you or whatever. It was just a real balance, and I like that. And I agree. I want balance in my friendships,
Yeah, I wanted across the board.
relationships
I
across the
mean,
board. Yeah.
even with the whole parenting thing, like we talked about, like it needs to be some balance there. It needs to be some level of respect and gratitude. Like it's level to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I am grateful for my parents. And I always have been. But I also know that I don't act entitled, but I know that what I have, everybody don't have that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't have that. And I get
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, it need to be balanced. Because parents need love too.
I know that's right. I hope that y'all are receiving love and balance in y'all life. And if y'all don't receive it, take a look at the relationships and friendships around you, because a lot of times when we unhappy or stressed out, that's part of it, is the energy you keeping around you. And if it ain't balanced and real love, whether it's your girls or your man or whatever.
I just really think people need to do more self reflection and accountability. And I don't think people do that a lot. And I probably self reflect way too much, but it needs to be done.
I self reflect, but a lot of my lessons come from after something happened, not something bad, but just after, kind of like when you say you need a visual on things. It's like, oh, the lesson, the action happened for me to get the lesson, for me to know for next time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how my self reflections happen. I'm self aware where I can receive that and not be, mad about if I'm wrong. So I'm appreciative that, God gave me that gift to be like, this is where you need to fix yourself. This is what you need to work on. And this is it. And then you have the discernment to see it in others where I don't get mad anymore. I can just let them be, because I can't tell you, because everybody ain't ready to receive. You be telling me, and we could tell each other, and because we are open to receive it and being accountable. But everybody not there. So that's that. You got anything else, friend?
Mm-mm.
Great conversation.
Thanks.
Thank you. I needed that. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's gonna be to the end of the month.
And I am it's so funny because the next day my son sent me a text like, "Oh, your birthday over," and I was just like, it just started. Like, we got a whole week to week,
You're
like
like, it's not
it's
over.
not over yet. But definitely, I am very grateful for my friends, and thank you for putting that together, because it was definitely a good time. And for my anchor to fly in for one day, that was, I'm just speechless on that. So I know I'm loved.
Hey,
Get like me.
listen. We want y'all to like, listen, subscribe, share. Tell us in the comments what y'all think about what we talked about. Accountability, awareness, parenting, adults, young adults. Turning 50 and wisdom. Just because you in your 50s don't mean you wise, or in your 40s, or whatever age you are. So we thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.